Good morning. The time is 10:25 a.m. Monday, August 30, 2021. The news headline. Two statements that the presidency said about IPOB that we should know. A writer just recently wrote that the presidency has spoken out about how indigenous people of Biafra, which was created by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are attacking police stations and other government facilities in Southeast and some parts of the South-South. He said that we should recall that the Southeast and South-South regions have been recording different attacks ever since Nnamdi Kanu, who is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, created the Eastern Security Network (ESN) earlier this year. He noted that when the senior assistant of media and publicity, Garba Shehu, was speaking to the newsmen, according to the People's Gazette, he said these two statements that he would like to analyze in this article because there are something that we should know. He said IPOB people are not freedom fighters, that they are thieves. Garba Shehu made it known that IPOB is not fighting for the freedom of Biafra because their activities clearly shows that what they are doing is stealing, and they are attacking the people's police stations, stealing their guns and other valuable items. They allegedly attacked 2 trailers of onions that were coming from the north and looted the onions that were worth millions of naira. And the writer was questioning that, can you call this freedom fighting? I think Garba Shehu has a point on this because when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, the report made it known that he was living a 5-star life, jumping from one country to another and wearing designer clothes. We should know that before the speech of Garba Shehu, the former Niger Delta militant Asari Dokubo had accused Nnamdi Kanu of using freedom fighting to cut away money from the Igbo people. He also noted that the IPOB is not fighting for Christians and that we should know that some people made a false assumption that federal government wants to Islamize Nigeria. Some people believe another false assumption that IPOB is fighting to save Nigeria. Garba Shehu made it known that all these are false assumptions that are far away from the truth because anytime IPOB strikes, majority of the people killed are Christians. He further urges religious and traditional leaders to use their position to preach oneness to Nigerians in order to install order in the society. However, people have actually accused this writer to be a terrorist and that all these millions of men and women and children, IPOB members, both on abroad, are not thieves, and that they are actually freedom fighters and they are actually agitating to be left alone because of the situation of the country and that the country itself is not working. And this will make us remember because the security of the nation is actually deteriorating. Fighting between the government forces and the Igbo separatist group is actually risk adding yet another challenge for the Buhari administration, because the emergence of an Igbo parliamentary force highlights the growing breakdown of any federal government monopoly on the use of force in the face of multiple security challenges. Even in good times, security is fragile, and in the former Biafra, insecurity has multiple dimensions. The Igbo people are Nigeria's third largest ethnic group. They were the losers in the 1967 to 1970 civil war, in which they tried to establish a separate Igbo-dominated state, Biafra. However, many Igbo people continue to believe that they are disadvantaged in Nigeria, and there continues to be residual support for Biafran independence, though not among the Igbo establishment. Conflict over land and water, once largely restricted to the Middle Belt, is spreading to the south, where it frequently acquires ethnic and religious overtones. Many Igbo, mostly Christians, believe that they are targeted by the Muslim Fulani herdsmen bringing their flocks south in search of better pastures, and criminal activity is widespread, and often the Igbo attribute it to the Fulani. Many residents of the former Biafra are alienated from the federal government and see the Buhari administration as Muslim-dominated and as enabling Fulani atrocities. Added to this myth is Nnamdi Kanu's Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB, a separatist movement that reflects and facilitates popular discontent. The federal government, we call it the civil war, is bitterly opposed to Igbo separatism as it is most of Igbo establishments. The government has long sought to defang the IPOB and silence Kanu, sometimes through illegal or quasi-legal methods. He, in turn, has used alleged Fulani depredations as a means of attacking the Buhari administration. And starting in August 2020, violence between IPOB and federal police and the army has escalated. In that month, the Nigerian police killed up to 21 civilians at an IPOB meeting in Enugu State, and in response, the IPOB promised retaliation and urged its members to practice self-defense. In December, Kanu announced the establishment of a paramilitary wing, the Eastern Security Network, allegedly to protect the Igbo against the Fulanis. The time is 10:41 a.m. The analysis. Just of recent, a writer wrote to make some statements clear about the IPOB, saying that they are not freedom fighters, but they are fighting for their pockets, as said by Garba Shehu in some of his interview, and that the IPOB are not fighting for Christians as some people believe. However, this has raised an alarm that this person is just an instrument that have probably been bribed or given some particular money by the Buhari regime to launch attacks on the indigenous people of Biafra, because the indigenous people of Biafra, as commenters have actually said, which is obviously the case in the country, that the security challenges of the country has gotten to a fact or a point whereby members of the country and citizens of the country need to start practicing self-defense, because a whole lot of people are being arrested by security agencies, and anybody who rise to their focal eyesight and biceps to go against this government or to expose their evil deeds. And that Kanu announced the establishment of a parliamentary wing known as the Eastern Security Network, which was actually to protect the Igbo from the Fulani. And for the federal government, a non-state sanctioned paramilitary organization in the old Biafran Asland was unacceptable, and it moved against the ESN camp. In late January 2021, there was a serious fighting which broke out in the town of Olu in Imo State, leading to a significant numbers of displaced persons. Fighting stopped when Kanu declared a ceasefire, saying that he was redirecting ESN efforts against Fulani's raiders. He also claimed that the federal forces had withdrawn from Olu. Supporters of the ESN, including in the Igbo diaspora, justify it as being like Miyetti Allah in the north and Amotekun in Yoruba land in the west. Both are paramilitary operations outside the federal government's legal purview, but with some ambiguous level of government approval. The north and the west were on the winning side in the civil war, and that may help account for the government's greater tolerance for their paramilitary organizations than for one associated with Igbo. The escalating fight in IPOB strongholds carries the risk of radicalizing the population and building support for IPOB. There are credible evidence which suggests that police assaulted residents in Olu, and some police perpetrators have been arrested. The Commissioner of Police for Imo State once apologized sometimes, but as recently as in December 2020, the IPOB was saying that ESN forces were merely a vigilante group protecting the Igbo against the Fulani. The time is 10:45 a.m. Good morning. Thanks for listening.